Hi everyone. Today we're going to focus on the how to make table in Blender. We are going to use this cube, and we are going to need a reference image. I've already searched that ahead, and I download it. Okay, I already have it. Doesn't matter. Fine. Now we create a new image, reference image. But first, let's jump to the front view by pressing the 1 key. Okay, and we create the short key for creating objects is Shift A, and choose reference image. Go to the desktop, we choose the image we have just downloaded. Now we're going to scale this cube in order to be the same width as one of the legs of the table by pressing the S and scale it down. Okay, it's about maybe the same. Place it here. We move it a little bit forward by pressing G and Y. Okay, now front view, we need to have the same height, obviously, but let us add a little bit of width. Okay, now S and Z for the height. Scale it on the Z-axis. Now to move it down, we press G, and on the Z-axis by pressing Z, I'm going to scale it a little bit more in the Z-axis. Okay, now I guess we're done. We press the Tab key to go in the edit mode. See here, edit mode, object. We were in the object mode. Now we're going to add some edge loops, some edges that loops around the object in order to add more geometry to bring the shape to look like the reference image. And to create the edge loops, we press the Ctrl R. We press the left button of the mouse, we drag it, so we place it where we want. Okay? I guess it's around here. So we add another edge loop, Ctrl R, left button, and place it where you want. Another edge loop, press and move. And our last edge loop for now is here. Okay, now as you see, the first part is cubic, but the second part is rounded. To create that close rounded shape, we need to separate the two. We are going to create another edge loop here on the horizontal, and we're going to add more geometry on the vertical axis in here and on the sides as well. We press the Ctrl R as always. We choose this part and we click to confirm the position. Another one. We click again. Now we need to select everything that needs to be, but first let's choose the edge selection, because there's three kind of selections: if we want vertex, or if we want edge, or by face. Now we select edges, so we select the first one and press Shift in order to keep adding to the same selection and all the edges that we want. This is a bit difficult, but we are going to do it anyway. Okay, I select this by mistake. Right, so we change to the top view by pressing the 7 key, and we scale it on the X and Y axis by pressing S and excluding the Z axis by pressing Shift and Z. Now we see the rounded shape start to take form. Now, we need to go back to the front view and activate the X-ray view in order to select the front edges as well as the edges that we cannot see, only if we rotate. So we see everything is selected now. We need to scale it down in order to be less large. To do so by press S and we exclude the Z-axis, Shift Z, right, like so. Okay, now in order to have these shapes here, we need to add 2 edge groups for each shape, but let us before that zoom a little bit. Sorry, Shift Alt and drag in order to reposition the view, and we create 2 edge loops. Ctrl R and scroll down a little bit to add edge loops. We need only 2 edge loops here, a third one after. So we click again to position. Now we need to separate them apart to give more room between them. We do so by pressing the S and the Z to constrain it to the Z axis. Now we need to scale it on the sides, and we do so by S, and now we exclude the Z axis, like so. Shift Z to exclude. We need to add another one, to give it a more rounded shape. We click to position, we scale and Shift Z. Okay, now the same thing we did here, we're going to repeat that here, here, and here. So that's very simple. Ctrl R, we click again, and we scale on the Z-axis. Now we scale on the X and Y-axis. We add another edge loop, Ctrl R. Then we scale on an X and Y-axis, like so. I guess we need to scale it back a little bit. Fine. Now we see the shape is larger than we have here. So after this, we're going to customize it a little bit. Now, for this part, we are just going to do one edge loop, and we scale it on the X and Y axis. I guess by now we started to learn to get accustomed with the short keys we have used. Now we need to produce the same shapes as we did before. So 1, 2, right. Now we add edge loops, always Ctrl R. Using the short keys is very easy. It's going to help you a lot by creating very fast your objects or models. Now we need to separate them S on the Z-axis. Okay. We need to scale them sideways. We need to add an edge loop, like so. Scale on the side. Now I added 3 by mistake. Go to undo that. Okay. We scale it on the Z-axis and on the sides. S, Shift Z to exclude the Z. I did that mistake again. Ctrl R. And we scale on the sides, like so. Fine. Now everything that looks larger than it's supposed to be, we're gonna scale it down. S, after selecting everything we need, S, press S and constrain it on the X and Y only. Okay, bring it down around this. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit to see if it looks right. Maybe even the top part needs to be scaled down because it's a little bit bigger. So we do first on the z-axis. Okay. We move it on the z-axis. But I'm going to stick to this. Now obviously all the bottom part need to be smaller than the rest of the leg, and we constrain it on the x and y. This is okay. This needs as well to be scaled down more than anything before it, but we're going to add a little bit. Add more. We are going to extrude the base by pressing the E key, and we can add a more geometry, but we're going to add just a little bit and scale it on the z-axis, on the x and y axis, like so. I think it's more realistic. Fine. Now we need to, as we see, if we change to the object mode, I just press the tab key, and you see I need to uncheck this too. The object is not very rounded. There is still some, you could see some cubes here on the shape. Now, in order to smooth the shape, we need to add a modifier. It's a subdivision modifier, subdivision surface modifier. But we need to correct these parts as it needs to be like the original shape. And before that, we need to add more details. I guess 3 is about the right amount of details. Okay, now we change to edit mode. We add edge loops. We're going to need 2, one in the top and one in the bottom. Yes. Now we scale on the z-axis, like so. And according to the reference image, the edge must be sharp, which is not our case for now. It's more rounded here than on the reference image. So to be able to do that, we go and select this, the edges that are related, by shift selecting every edge you need. So 3 edges by side. Here as well. Okay, because it's very small. I selected this edge by mistake. My bad. And we're done, I guess. So we need to go here, edge and crease, and drag it. I was dragging this side. So now the edge are sharper than they were. So now if you don't have, you were in the edge in the edit mode, you don't have this part, edge crease, you need to go in edit preferences and look for loop tools. You just search for loop tools and check this on in order to enable all the useful tools here. So I guess we don't need these reference image anymore. So we are in the object mode. Now we're gonna focus on making our table. So we are going to first, okay, let's put this yep, G, Z on the Z-axis, right. Now we're going to make a plane and press G to move it and Z on Z-axis. We are going to scale it a little bit. And scale it also on the Y-axis, like so. Now change, we press the 7 key, or to choose the top view, and we move this part by G and put it almost around here. I guess this face need to be larger to look like a real table. So we move it upward. I guess it's about the right size. Now we go back again on the top view and we press tab, or not tab, wireframes. Now we need to duplicate this, or just first move it and duplicate it. Shift D. Okay. But let us constrain it on the x-axis in order to be the right in the right place. Okay, I guess the best thing is not Shift D as I was told, but Alt D. This way we can apply texture later on one object. It will be applied on the rest of the object, on rest of the table legs. Same thing, Shift D on the Y-axis, like so. Don't need to have exactly the perfect symmetry. Okay, now for this part, let's go back to this view. I guess we need to scale it a little bit more. Now we're going to, because now it's a very thin sheet, we need to add more width or more depth. To do so, we go in the edit mode. I always use the tab key in order to switch from the edit and the object mode. We press E to add depth to the table, and we need to scale it on the Z-axis. We're going to focus. It's not scaled down. Okay. Okay. Well, I need to select these four again. At this stage, you can choose to do anything that suits your, or we're going to press E again and move it on the x-axis, on the z-axis, yeah. Well, it's getting in our way. and move it on the z-axis. Okay, now we need to add some bevel. Okay, I shift double click this edge in order to select everything around it, and to do bevel we press Ctrl B. Okay, now this. It needs to go well. I guess now it's more realistic. We can do the same thing as the legs by adding the subdivision surface. But again, we need to add 2 edge loops on each side. Oh, sorry. 1, 2. Click. Place them. Okay, click and scale on the y-axis. Like so. Now again the 2 edge loops. Place and scale it on the x-axis this time. Fine. Now we're done with our overall shape. What we need now is to add some textures. Okay. So I have already chosen this texture about the wood texture. We can download this wood texture first. Okay, we're going to download this texture as well. We're going to use it for the floor. Okay. Now it's going to be, we're going to put it, well, we're going to fetch that later. Extract. Fine. Fine. Now, what about this texturing way to do things is to download these PBR. We call them a PBR, which stands for physics-based rendering, which is as it is which is very clear according to the wording of its name. It means that it's based on the way it looks in the real world. Now, it is made up each texture on this website, which I encourage you to go to this website for any texture you need to, because most of them are free, and they are on. You can even download the very high resolution, but you need to have a very powerful computer. For the sake of this tutorial, we're only gonna need the lower resolution is very good for us. Okay. Now to add these texture, we need to go in shading. So this part is all the different set of tools we need to that are useful for each different use. Here we were in here for any modeling thing. We need to go here in order to add everything that is related to texture. Sometimes we need to go here as well, UV editing, in order to apply the texture images. in a certain way. So first we go here and we select the part we need to add texture to, and we press new to give us the very basic building block of the texture nodes. This part is not very difficult. Maybe it looks scary, but it's not really difficult. So we need to add Shift A to add, and image texture. The texture we have just downloaded. We go in the text on the desktop, and we need the wood texture for this. Now we are going to use only 3 images: the color, the roughness, does it reflect light or not, and the normal, which is kind of trick the eye to that there is some depth on the image. We're going to see this on the object very soon. So we have our first node. It needs to go here on the base color. Okay, now start to see our result. We need to add another one. To do so, Shift D. Okay, and also another one for the 3 images we are going to use. So it points. We need to choose this time the roughness, and for the last one is the normal. Now the roughness needs to go, of course, to the roughness, and you see now it's more shiny because it depends on the characteristics of the image, and we need to select this and link it to the normal, but we need to add a vector map, normal map, of course, because yellow goes to yellow and purple to the purple. Okay, now it's more realistic, as you can see. And don't forget, we are here. This is the kind of rendering we need in order to see things very quickly. Now, for the rest, we need to add the texture, but it's going to be the same for the leg. Now, we need to choose the material. Here is the material that we have just made for this one. We can get it here. I guess, well, this is enough for us, I guess. Now we create another plane, and this time it's going to be the floor. Okay, I guess it's right. Now for this one we are going to choose another texture, but it's the same thing. Of course you can use another texture. It's available on the website I have just showed you. Now we choose the tile one. Here is the color, and we duplicate. Shift D, we choose the roughness, and duplicate again for the normal. Fine. Now we need to link all these nodes for it to take effect. The base color, where is it? Here. Roughness, here. And the normal, of course, we need to add this node that allow it to bridge. Choose different. So you can see now it's about it. So we go back here and you see our end result. We were able to make our table. I guess this part is really the end, where you want to add the final touches, but here it's enough. You can see already that it is everything we need. So thank you for watching my video. We are going necessarily be soon doing another videos about the rest of the furnitures that we need in the living room. So at the end we can make our living room from scratch. Thank you and have a good day.